Welcome, citizen, to another Starcraft Nation broadcast. I am your host, Venerati, and here we go. Matchup number 4 in between MoonGlade and our good old buddy LiquidHuk. Of course, he is going to be playing underneath the title of Trader here, but he is no trader. He is no turncoat. He is LiquidHuk. Will be spawning as the Red Protoss, and of course we are on Lost Temple, and we have cross position, so we have the majestic, magical aligning of the stars to where we can have an epic matchup of macro goodness. So, yeah, a little bit of a spiel, but personally, I mean, I really do love the cross positions, and especially with the kind of play we've been seeing from our two players here. If you haven't been joining me for the other matchups, you should watch these in order, because it really culminates into just an epic climax, which I can't explain right now because it would totally be a terrible spoiler and it would give it all away. So here we go. Now, so far we've seen early pressure coming from MoonGlade, and we've seen him get in Huk's base twice within the first 6 minutes of the game, breaking down and actually killing the gateway with Zerglings. So really awesome. You don't see that very often. We've seen the great micro play early on, denying the buildings, denying the process that you generally start, because when you start the game, you know, you're sitting there trucking and whatever, and you got your build order and you got your rhythm, but if it gets broken, you don't have the same kind of fluid. You know, you're not going to be as apt at reacting to it as you would if you had your regular build order. So we saw the effectiveness against that, even against a veteran player like LiquidHuk. I mean, he's been around the block a couple times, I'm sure, and he knows what he's doing. We've seen great play come out of this guy, and same for MoonGlade. I mean, and I feel kind of conflicted in this matchup here because I have taken the banner of the Swarm, and now I play Zerg pretty much exclusively. I random in team games, but for laddering, I do Zerg, just because I needed to pick a race. It was time, but I love LiquidHuk with all my heart, as I love his gameplay, especially that Scrap Station matchup there against Nest T with like 280 degrees of force fields, denying any sort of surface area for attack. It was just, it was sextasy in StarCraft 2 form. So either way, he will forever have my man crush heart for that one. But right now, what do we have going on? What are we seeing from our players? We're actually seeing pretty standard stuff, though we are going to be seeing a second assembler taken here by Huk at the 22 mark. So not super early, but we could be seeing some high-tech output from him earlier on. Meanwhile, though, MoonGlade went ahead, grabbed the 100 gas, cut drones on the extractor, went straight back to mineral, and got the expansion. So he's going to be really just pushing his drone count to the max. If we sit there and take a look at the count, 16 drones here. Going to be having expansion a third of the way done at the 23 count. We're going to be having is this the second evolution, or is this the first hatching of the eggs right here? No, this is second. I can't remember. Anyway, so either way, not important. This drone will be dying here momentarily, but he's getting the expansion, even clearing the destructive debris here right now. So putting his workers to use right here. We just saw right there, metabolic boost just finishing up for him. Not able to put any sort of super early pressure on this front door like he has been doing in the earlier matches. So not seeing these Zerglings on the front door chewing at this gateway. We do have the cross position, so it'll be a little bit harder for him to apply this pressure. Right now, 2 sentries here on the bottom. We see the pylon going down, and I'm sniffing a little bit of a fast expand. I don't know about you, but when does a Protoss player put down a pylon in the lower area unless he's going to be expanding? So we'll be seeing the fast expand coming here, and this is part of the metagame for these cross positions. These cross positions making our players feel that much more comfortable. Because, you know, when you've got this brutal positioning right here, you've got this little death alley, this little short drag racing stint right here, you know that at a moment's notice you could have a 4-gate army or a roach army right there. And here we go. Actually, Ling's getting in contact with these sentries and the zealots. It does look like these two guys will be going down, but these 4 sentries actually stuck here in between these force fields, so they're completely out of harm's way. All of those Lings actually will be going down, so not exactly cost-effective here for MoonGlade. Actually, pretty clutch force fields. I don't know if that was on purpose, but all 4 of the sentries there stuck in between those force fields. So basically immortal when it comes to going up against those Lings. But anyway, like I was talking about, this metagame with the cross positions off the Lost Temple, you know the rush distance is shorter. You feel a little bit more comfortable in getting these expansions, and the timing's going to be a little bit different there, so you know you can do it and be safe with it. But either way, here, MoonGlade will be finishing up clearing these destructible rocks. Looks like he's going to be getting a second expansion here relatively quickly. We do see a third queen down here on the low ground. 2 spine crawlers going down as well. MoonGlade, this is part of his play, as we've seen him repeatedly get these spine crawlers trying to be defensive in nature, because he knows he's expanding, he knows he's kind of putting his neck out there, and these spine crawlers are going to be giving him that little bit of a buffer, that pillow, when you know someone's going to be coming over there and going to be giving you a kick in the side of the head. And you think about, well, would you rather have the pillow or would you rather not have the pillow? I would rather have the pillow when you see the big steel-toed boot of the 4-gate coming there to kick you in the side of the head. But here we go. A little bit of a contact here. Lots of sentries, 2 zealots here. So going to be able to do lots of battlefield manipulation, range DPS as well. So these Zerglings are going to have a hard time of actually being effective here. But this Overlord will be going down momentarily. So another Overlord will have to be spawned here momentarily. And look at this, 7 drones on the way. Taking a look at the income tab. The Harvester count's about to be leveled right there. There we go. Bam. Neck and neck. 2 more spine crawlers will be finishing up here momentarily. So this army not going to be super, super effective against those spine crawlers. Sentries not just, they're not really apt at destroying those. They're not good at busting bunkers or for whatever terminology you want to apply to it. Meanwhile, though, LiquidHuk, I got a nice little wall up here. Going to be able to make sure those lings don't get in here if he wants to. Now, of course, he can hang back here and invite them in for a nice cup of tea, and there we go. You're going to see a little bit of shenanigans. But meanwhile, though, we're seeing MoonGlade keeping these guys in the back pocket, kind of like ace in the hole, trying to catch LiquidHuk out in the open, trying to catch him out of position. That's really what you want to do. And look at this, 12, 13 more drones on the way. Holy cow. MoonGlade just absolutely digging in. This is like World War I style. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're going to see trench spawning here momentarily. There we go. Actually, we have Hallucination finishing up here for LiquidHuk, and we see Phoenix coming out here. Now, what are we going to be seeing here? Actually, we see Evolution Chamber, Hydra's Den, and a Spire all at once coming from MoonGlade. Now, is MoonGlade going to know that these guys... Yes, here we go. He actually sees that this is a hallucination and will be canceling both the Evolution Chamber and the Hydra's Den. So those hallucinations giving MoonGlade quite a scare right there, as we saw his reactionary buildings right there. So great, great, great unit choice there. Actually, ability choice by Huk, getting these fancy abilities and getting those fake Phoenix out there and forcing MoonGlade to get these buildings. And you saw how scared he was there momentarily. We can't see his face, we can't see his reactions in the past, but we see the buildings that he makes, and we see how that really affects those players. And that's just one more trick coming out of LiquidHuk's pocket, and that's really what makes a great player. You can get the bread and butter 4-gate down, and yeah, you can go far with it on the ladder, but, getting the hallucination, getting all these other things that you can do to augment your army, and it's like basically building a buffet. And you go from having a 2-course buffet to like a 16-course Grand King Charles the 17th, buffet here. And that's what LiquidHuk's bringing to the table here. And of course, he's going to be able to scout all this out. Free scouts too. I mean, why not? Hello, people. So anyway, sorry, there's a little bit of a rant, but hallucination really not used enough. Why not? Oh, meanwhile though, while I'm ranting about hallucination, 13 Mutalisks on the way. Hello, that's going to be painful. Let's take a look at the army tab right here. 92 to 116. We are seeing an army count advantage here for our buddy LiquidHuk, but the mobility and the situational power of the Mutalisk here is about to come into play. And if LiquidHuk isn't on top of this, he could be in a lot of trouble. Though we do see 3 cannons and actually more cannons on the way here. Actually, those are pylons, excuse me. But 3 cannons here, and we have Blink Stalkers on the field. So, Mutalisk really not going to be super, super effective at this point. I actually kind of feel bad because I love Mutalisk. Mutalisk are so brutal, but they're so expensive and so weak when you truly think about it. And here we go. Actually, Mutalisk taking a lot of Stalker fire right there. As, yeah, these guys are just so mobile, and able to get where they need to go, able to circumvent these high ground rules. As long as there's vision there, of course, they can blink up here. and they're just sitting there ready and waiting. They're just like bloodhounds, just salivating, waiting for the whistle to go after those foxes. I mean, this is straight up like old English style. So, I mean, that's what these guys are. They're the bloodhounds of the Protoss army, waiting for those mutalisks, because these mutalisks, cost effectiveness-wise, totally Stalkers outweigh them. And here we go, mutalisks trying to get up here again in the main base, but MoonGlade basically being found out right there. These Blink Stalkers running up here will be getting the high ground along with these cannons, going to be able to thwart this attack, and these mutalisks just not able to find an opening to really do anything with, and mutalisks that aren't able to harass are basically, I mean, not only are they sad-faced mutalisks, but they're pretty much useless, because that's what you want to use these mutalisks for, is to keep your opponent off kilter, off balance. You want to hit them where it really hurts. And there we go. A couple of sentries getting caught out in the open. Guardian shields going down. A couple of Phoenix getting out there too. I mean, MoonGlade knows they're fake by now. But either way, let's take a look at the macro situation here for a moment. 71 Harvesters for LiquidHuk versus 61 Harvesters for MoonGlade. So MoonGlade actually being out macroed right now. Though MoonGlade does have one more expansion than his counterpart LiquidHuk here. Meanwhile, though, here we go. Mutalisk Plot coming up here. Going to get a couple of pot shots off here. One pylon going down. A second pylon maybe going down. But the Stalkers coming out here looking to thwart this. Cannons. Only 3 cannons here. And there's a lot of mutalisks. 25 mutalisks. But the Stalkers showing up here and will be evicting those mutalisks. And actually, lots of fire going on those mutalisks. I mean, yeah. These mutalisks are about to have even more issues. And you know why? Because we have High Templar on the field. And 4 more High Templar are actually coming online, as well as ground weapons level 2. So those Stalkers are going to be that much more deadly against those mutalisks. And, you know, we see more and more mutalisks coming here from MoonGlade. But I don't know how effective they're going to be at this point, as I would like to see some sort of hive tech. You know, as a caster, I mean, the moment you make a prediction, honestly, you're just going to put your foot in your mouth. And I've watched these. I've already watched it, but here we go. Actually, Blink Stalkers getting a couple free pot shots off out there on that army. So, once again, Mutalisk just taking a lot of fire. But looks like he might be able to put some pressure here on this high-yield expansion. Meanwhile, the LiquidHuk moving out across the field. And, ooh, is he going to be doing a base trade as these Mutalisks is getting caught by so many High Templar right here. The Caldarian Amulet able to immediately Sidestorm. And so many of those Mutalisks just feeling the pain right there as we take a look at the alt. Press that lovely alt key. Meanwhile, though, LiquidHuk putting a lot of pressure here. Is he going to be able to, where is he going to choose? Is he going to go for the high yield? Is he going to go for the natural? There's so many spine crawlers down. The Overlord's just melting right there. As we actually will see MoonGlade supply Glock right here. Meanwhile, though, these Mutalisks just trying to find a hole. I mean, they're just a linebacker without anyone to tackle. And these spine crawlers trying so desperately, along with these queens and guardian shields coming down as well. I mean, there's so much here for Huk right now. And these Zealots just going to be chewing through all of these drones. The hatchery will be going down. Meanwhile, though, High Templar just casting so many Side Storms down on these Mutalisks. These Mutalisks just dying left and right. And the ones that aren't dying are just absolutely being decimated. Zergling streaming in here, and it does look like this high-yield expansion will be in a lot of trouble. And those Zerglings taking a lot of fire from those High Templar as well. And this Archon going down, and this expansion, the probes are all going to be killed here, it looks like. But this Nexus doesn't look like it's actually going to be compromised. Meanwhile, though, on MoonGlade's side of the field, this is a very sad high-yield expansion, as everything has died here except for the larva and these Overlords. So, lots of Mutalisks dying right here. Taking a look at the losses tab. Oh my gosh, this really says basically this is the tempo of the game. Blink Stalkers, High Templar versus Mutalisks equal this loss tab right there. 10k versus 5.7k losses. Yeah. LiquidHuk is sitting pretty, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I can say to this, because MoonGlade continuing to go with these Mutalisks. I mean, he's getting a Wurch Warren right now, getting the ground upgrades, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. I think it's going to be a little bit too late for this, because the Mutalisks sitting up here and feeling quite useless at this point. This Side Storm's going down left and right. Blink Stalkers here just to mop up what's left over, and MoonGlade in a lot of trouble as his high yield expansion's done. Now, LiquidHuk is not aware of this expansion up here, so MoonGlade's okay as far as expansion goes right now, but here we go. On the natural expansion, so many Spine Crawlers in here, but oh, is it going to be enough? I don't think so many Guardian Shields going down. These Spine Crawlers just dying left and right. Side Storms going down on these roaches just for shenanigans because there's so much left over here. Lots of roaches on a high ground right here, but the force fields will be going down, denying the reinforcements. More Guardian Shields, more force fields, a couple of Mutalisks sitting there feeling useless. We'll just kind of be committing suicide right there. So we do actually see MoonGlade GGing right there. And LiquidHuk will be keeping himself in this as it has now officially gone 2-2. As right now, LiquidHuk is basically stonewalling MoonGlade as he has come back from a 2-loss deficit. And if there ever was a quintessential stonewall moment, this is what it is. So is LiquidHuk going to be able to keep this going? I don't know. If you know the series, how it goes, you know what's going on. But I'm not going to spoil it for those who haven't, because this is going to be going to game number 5 in between these two epic players right here. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Let me know your excitement. Give me feedback. I love the feedback. It warms my heart every single day. So either way, guys, thank you so much for joining me. And as always, citizens, stay safe.